This is James Lutton for Slothbox, sponsored by the Excelsior Sporting Club. And today I'm joined with Kyle Davies. Kyle, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. You?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thanks for joining me today. I want to get to know a little bit about yourself. Currently 2-0 in your professional career
Yeah.
so far, up and coming prospect. First of all, just give us a little breakdown on how you got into boxing and why you stuck at it.
I think I was trying a lot of sports, when you're younger, like everyone does. But my cousin used to be a professional boxer, Scott Lawton, and he had his own gym, so it just was a bit like something I always wanted to try. And my mum finally let me go when I was about 14, 15. I think I just loved it from there. And it was quite easy access to get to. So obviously being a family gym, I think I just stuck at it for a lot of reasons.
And did you enjoy it straight away?
Yeah, I think it was one of the things that I think I noticeably knew I really enjoyed this. So it was even like if my mum couldn't take me, I was even walking to the boxing gym, like anything to just go. So I think that's what showed my mum as well that I was really interested.
So you sort of almost had that dedication to the sport quite early on then, which
Yeah,
sometimes does
yeah,
leave a child. When you start going to the gym as a teenager and you hit a certain age, you can turn around and go, right, I've had enough of this. I'll go out, start going out with the lads or whatever else. So you sort of showed that dedication very early on.
yeah. No, and I've seen that in a lot of people. You see people come and go out of the gym, which is normal because it is hard work. But I don't know. I just had that, like you said, that dedication from early and just strive to just want to get better all the time. Every time I went, watching boxing at home, watching boxing movies, just doing boxing whenever I could.
Now, you plan to turn professional in 2020, but obviously COVID had hit and that had put a stop on that really. Now, I know a lot of fighters who were fighting beforehand for years, and then COVID came along and they since retired because there wasn't earning, etc. Do you feel for yourself it was better that it came before you had your debut?
Yeah, I say this all the time. It was probably not what happened, but the actual situation I got put in was probably the best thing for me because I was probably ready, but not as ready as I could have been. And I was just being too eager. And I think just the lockdown period just helped me mature and grow as a boxer as well. Like when I could get into the gym, start training, even when I couldn't, making sure the little times I had for exercise, I was out running or, I was in the garden shadow boxing or whatever I could do to get better. And I think it served me better than going straight into it at 19.
It's very easy to look back in hindsight and say, yeah, it's benefited me, but I'm sure at the time it's very frustrating for yourself.
Oh yeah, at the time it was frustrating because I just thought, right, I finally turned over and now I can't box. But I think I turned the frustration into just wanting to come back and everyone be a bit more like, oh well, Kyle's got a lot better, or I can see an improvement, or even in myself, noticing that I'd improved over the time.
Talk to me about when you did finally get your debut. I think it was March 22 and it was Daryl Sharp.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like? First of all, the ring walk to your first ever fight.
Oh yeah, it was all different. I'd never done a ring walk, like in the amateurs I was used to just standing next to the ring, you know, putting gloves on next to the ring, jumping in the ring, and then it goes. So yeah, it was all just an experience. But I think I kind of psyched myself up for it. Like I kind of knew what was going to happen, as in the ring walk um, aspect. It was just when I got in the ring, it was a bit of a shock because I'd never even had no head guard on. First time in small gloves. But I adapted quickly. I feel like after the first round, you kind of forget everything when you're in the ring and you're focused. It's what I more took it all in after. I think.
And then obviously after when the final bell had gone, you got your hand raised again for the
Yeah,
first time as a professional,
yeah.
victorious. What was that feeling like? Was that something that you've ever experienced before?
It's just felt. I just kind of felt like, well, I'm finally doing what like it felt like the first step had finally been completed. You know, it was just nice to show all my friends because I'd not boxed in my hometown at all. So none of my friends had actually ever seen me box, bar my girlfriend and one friend a few years ago as an amateur. So it was kind of nice to show everyone that I weren't just doing it for no reason. You know, everyone got to experience it together as well.
As mentioned, you have had 2 fights now. You are 2-0 as a
Yeah.
professional. Just talk to me a minute. What's going on yourself? For you, I know you've been sparring some top lads, and we'll come on to that.
Yeah.
But for yourself at the moment, what's the? Is there a plan in place? Are you looking at a date? Have you got a date in mind? What's going on with yourself at the moment?
I mean, I've just come out of the contract who I was with previously, and then I signed with Tunde, and I think I'm just waiting to see what the best offer is or what the best move is, because I've just done all this to kind of get the best, the next best chance. So I'm not rushing into anything because I've not rushed the whole career. So trying to make sure everything I do is the right move for me and for everyone. So hopefully something can be sorted by September. I'm staying in shape, staying on weight, staying ready to, if anything comes up that is suitable, that everyone in the team thinks suitable, then I'll be ready for it. So I really don't know yet. I'm just staying prepared for whatever is going to happen.
You just mentioned there Tunde Ajayi.
Yeah,
He's
Ajayi, yeah,
your co-manager. How
yeah,
did
yeah.
that come about? How did you guys meet?
Um,
Bruce sparring Anthony Yard, or was it another way? Or
so, so through Joe, my manager, who's co-managing me as well, and also my trainer, and has been from the start. He had been going up to Tunde and for quite a while, and he took me when I was, I want to say 17, 18, round there, just to go watch. Just kind of because I was talking about turning pro, and he wanted me to see how like it's going to be to train. If you want to be the best or even get the best results, you've got to train like the best. So I just went up to watch, and I've been going up there for a while. And then I sparred him when I was about, I mean, maybe the first time I sparred him, but I mean, just it was a move around. Then kept going, went up not too long ago, probably last year or maybe the year before, and sparred him and had a real spar, and been sparring him. I think we've had about 6 spars, like ranging from 10 to 12 rounds a time. So we've done quite a few rounds. So we've been involved with them for quite a while. And I think obviously they've seen me grow. They've seen me and Joe, how we train, like how we like to do stuff. And obviously, supported it as well. So that I think that's how it kind of come around.
you mentioned earlier as well that you feel that Tunde could potentially give you the best opportunities out there
Yeah,
right now. And
yeah,
we've seen that with Anthony Yard, we've seen it with his other fighters that he's
yeah,
got as
yeah.
well. With Frank Warren and TV shows, the big platforms. Is that what you're hoping that Tunde can provide for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Like that's why, like I said, the move was made because we know what they're about. We've seen what Tunji can do. What he's done with hand and the rest, and so that is what the move is for. And that's what I was hoping I can also get the chance, and then I can do my part and show, that I belong there or wherever I can get.
Go back to sparring Anthony Yard. There are a few other names I'll mention, but we'll start with Anthony Yard.
Yeah,
You mentioned already there you've done quite a few rounds with him, and I believe you
yeah,
was quite heavily involved in the Arthur Paterbiev camp,
yeah,
Anthony.
yeah.
What's that experience like? Because for yourself at this stage of your career, you're not fighting world level fighters, so sparring and the
No,
gym work is where you do learn your trade. So what's that
yeah.
experience been like for yourself?
Oh, it's probably the best experience you can get. But I've not had many amateur bouts, so really it's for me also to improve without having to fight every single week. It's not every single day you get a chance to spar Anthony Yard, and it just brings me on, and it's just good sparring. I get to see stuff that happens at the top level, and it's really good experience for me, and it just helps with confidence as well. Like knowing I've been there and I've done it is a big thing.
Like I mentioned earlier, you sparred many different names and you sparred different levels of
Yeah,
fighters. Obviously, Anthony Yard and Callum
yeah,
Johnson, who have both been at world level.
yeah,
You've sparred guys like Derek Azazi, who's been at a good domestic level, British level.
yeah,
Callum Simpson, who's coming through, recently signed a
yeah,
boxer. He's fighting on July the 1st, so he's more of a prospect as such. But he's had a few more
yeah,
fights and
yeah.
he's a bit further ahead in his career than you. What do you learn from these guys aspiring at different types and different levels of fighters through their career?
Yeah, like I said, I spar through and it helps because they all bring something different. Like you can never say, "Oh, someone's better." Like everyone brings a different kind of look on the day, and you get different feedback, and you have to adapt to different people. So, but that's what helps sparring a range of people at a range of levels because you can never just be comfortable then because you never know what you're going to get out of someone or like some people are in camp so they change up the sparring, some people are out of camp so they change the sparring change as well. So I think having a wide range of different styles, weights within reason, and like where they are in the career all plays a big part and is all helpful in different ways.
I think it's something that's definitely underestimated when you're training because, especially for yourself at this stage of your career, you don't know what your opponent will bring. You don't know what style you're going to come into the ring with. So if you're learning your trade behind closed doors in the gym with guys who are going to give you different styles, then you're going to be well prepared in the ring on
Yeah.
fire for whatever style is brought to you.
Yeah, and it's like as well, like you said, and even opponent can change on a day's notice, and then you're stuck with someone. You were going to box someone who's 6'5", but you boxes someone that's 5'9". Like it's all different. You're boxing southpaw, you're boxing a switch. Like it can all change. So that's why I do think all the work is done in the gym, and on the fight night, you've just got to put the product out. And I think fight night's for showing what you've done, not really what you've learned. And then for sparring and in the gym, that's where you really learn, ready for that one chance, whoever it may be.
I absolutely agree. And just finally, Carl, in terms of you've mentioned already, you're hoping to be out in September. We're hoping to get, potentially TV shows or bigger platforms
Yeah.
under the guidance of Tunde. But say come Christmas, where do you want to be? What are your aspirations for 2023?
I want to hopefully have boxed again. Got been know where I am, whether it's TV or whatever was the best option, and really be ready then to carry on the career through next year. Hopefully I box again in December if that was optional, or if not in the new year again. But just know that I'm on the path again now to where I'm going to get because I just feel like it's all starting to come together now, and I'm just waiting for the chance again to show everyone else.
You've mentioned a few times about the right opportunity, the right time.
Yeah,
You seem to have a very sensible head on you, very business minded as well. Is that something that you've always had, or is this something that you've worked with your team, with Tunde and with Joe? What's that?
yeah.
Where's that come from?
I just think I've never been too impatient with it. Like I only had 7 amateur bouts. We took the right amateur bouts that we felt at the time. Um, COVID come around and everything, we waited. We didn't take no away fights just to get a fight or nothing like that. So I just think at 22, it'd just be silly to waste it all potentially by taking too much of a risk. You have to take risks sometimes, but an educated risk is sometimes better than just a risk to see what happens. And I just think that but now in my career, while only having 2 fights, I wouldn't like to take too much risk because I feel like I know where I can get at some point, and I wouldn't want to jeopardize that by just being too rash with the decisions.
No, absolutely. Well, Carl, I want to thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate
No,
your
thank
time.
you.
All the best for the future. I'm sure we'll catch up again
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, definitely. Thank you.